Hello everyone, welcome to STR IAS. So in this lecture, we'll be speaking about Earth's interior. We know that Earth is divided into three layers: crust, mantle, and the innermost layer is core. So today we'll be speaking about crust. So crust is the uppermost layer, right? And we'll be having two different types of crusts. Crust will be different in oceans and crust will be different in continents. And when it comes to volume, so volume of the crust, it will be around 0.5 to 1% of Earth's volume. So when it compares to volume of the Earth, the volume of the crust will be 0.5 to 1%. Then when it comes to density of crust, it is 2.7 gram per centimeter cube, and average density of the Earth is 5.51 gram per centimeter cube. When it comes to, I told like oceanic crust and continental crust, right? So thickness of oceanic crust will be around will be in the range of 5 to 30 kilometers, and continental crust thickness will be of 50 to 70 kilometers. So when it comes to Himalayas, the thickness of crust will be 70 kilometers, right? So these are the crucial details. They might ask, well, what is the volume of the crust? Maybe volume of the crust compared with volume of the Earth, but it is only of 0.5 to 1%. And density of the crust is 2.7 gram per centimeter cube, whereas average density of Earth is 5.51 gram per centimeter cube. So just remember the numbers, you should remember. And thickness of the crust, oceanic crust is very thick, thickness will be little, 5 to 30 kilometers. So it is like depth of the ocean, then from there it is around 30 kilometers, the crust will be there, 5 to 30 kilometers, maybe minimum 5 kilometers, maximum 30 kilometers. When it comes to continental crust, it will be around 50 to 70 kilometers. Then what about mass? The mass of crust is less than 1% of Earth's mass. Mass of the crust is less than 1% of Earth's mass, right? Then what about temperature increase? Temperature increases per 1 kilometer, the temperature will increase 30 degrees Celsius. And when it is at the boundary of the, it will be of the crust, it will be ranging from 200 degrees Celsius to 400 degrees Celsius. So we cannot dig the Earth to 400 degrees Celsius within the crust itself, within 5 to 30 kilometers range in oceans and 50 to 70 kilometers range in continental crust, right? So what type of rocks will be there on the crust? So on the topmost layer we can see the sedimentary rocks, nothing but soil, and below that we can see crystalline rocks, and below that we can see igneous rocks. When we see rock cycle, we'll understand what is sedimentary, what is crystalline, and what is igneous. And below that we'll be having metamorphic rocks, right? So crust will be having two types of rocks, and below that basaltic and ultra basaltic. So crust, I told like it will be divided into two types of rock, oceanic and continental, right? So when it comes to continental, it is made up of silica, aluminium, oxygen. Then we have silica. The continental crust is called felsic. So it is made up of granite, and it is lighter. Sodium will be there, iron, potassium, aluminium silicate. Yes. Oceanic crust is heavier. Continental crust is lighter. Okay. This is called massic. It's made up of magnesium, silicon, and iron are the major components. So just remember, oceanic crust is heavier. Just remember like this: Sima, silicon, and magnesium are the major components. Continental crust is lighter just because we have Sial, aluminium here magnesium. Okay, so we'll just speak about most abundant elements on Earth's crust. So on Earth's crust, we are not speaking upon Earth, so we'll speak upon Earth also. First we'll speak upon crust. So on crust we can remember this with the help of mosaic. Okay, oxygen, silicon, silica, aluminium, iron, calcium. If we want, after that we'll be having sodium, potassium, then we have magnesium at the last. So oxygen is around 46.6% in the crust, and silica is around 27%, aluminium is around 8%, iron is around 5%, calcium is around 3%. When it comes to most abundant elements on the earth by weight, percentage weight, so iron will be the topmost. It will be 34.6%. So just remember like 35% is iron. Here just remember 47% is oxygen. So iron, IOS, oxygen 29.5%, and silica is around 15.2%. Okay, then after that we'll be having magnesium only. It's around 12.7%. Then after that, so when we are going deeper into the earth, the composition will change, right? So here we'll be having feldspar or quartz, maybe granite or basalt. Below the continent we'll be having granite, and below the ocean we'll be having basalt. So slowly the composition changes, and this change in composition is called discontinuity. So it is a crust, and this is upper mantle, nothing but asthenosphere. Between crust and asthenosphere there will be change in composition of the elements. So this change in composition is called discontinuity, and there is one specific name for this discontinuity: Moho discontinuity or Moho discontinuity. So Moho discontinuity happens like it is determined with the help of seismic activity. So seismic activity is nothing but earthquake activity. So whenever earthquakes activity happens, you can see like change in wavelength, or change in frequency, or change in speed of the travel speed of the length of the wave. So with that we have determined that after 8 kilometers in the ocean crust, if you go 8 kilometers after that, we can see Moho discontinuity in oceans, and in continents we can see after 30 kilometers. So if it is a crust, after 30 kilometers we can see Moho discontinuity in the on the continents. So until now we'll revise what we have done. So crust is the topmost layer of the earth. Crust, the volume of the crust is 0.5 to 1% of volume of earth. When it comes to mass of crust, it is less than 1% of earth's mass of the earth. Then we have seen like density of crust, it's around 2.7 gram per centimeter cube. And what is the average density of the earth? The average density of the earth is 5.51 gram per centimeter cube. And we have seen we have two types of crust: oceanic and continental crust. Continental is made up of granite and it is heavier. Okay. Sial, and this is Sima. This is made up of basalt and it is heavier. Sorry, continental crust is lighter. Continental crust thickness is very high, so it will be around 50 to 70 kilometers. We can see in mountain. Oceanic crust, the thickness is around like 5 to 30 kilometers below the ocean. So this we have seen, and we have seen Moho discontinuity, and we have seen most abundant elements on the earth. Crust, most abundant means most easily available on earth's crust. So we can remember that with OSI. Okay, oxygen is around 47%, then silicon is around 27%, aluminium 8%, iron is around 5%, calcium is around 3.6%. Then on earth we have seen like IOS. So iron is around 34.6, nothing but 35%, oxygen is around 30%, and silica is around 15%. Okay, so we'll catch you up in the next lecture dealing with mantle. So mantle is divided into two layers: upper mantle and lower mantle. So upper mantle is called asthenosphere. So we'll be dealing with that in the upcoming lectures. So thanks for watching. If you find it helpful, please do like, share and subscribe.